What's up, everybody? Thank you so much for listening to Your Ex-Drinking Buddy. My name is Brennan Tassif. I'll be your host. Subscribe, rate, and review wherever you get your podcast. Check out the merch store at brennantcomedy.com/merch-store. And make sure you subscribe on YouTube as well. We'll put the shorts up there, the full video, the whole thing. Thank you so much for listening. I love it. I hope you love it. Subscribe on Patreon, too. We do bonus episodes. I do Tales from the Restaurant, where I talk about celebrities I've waited on and whether they're assholes or not, which is super fun. Also, we do a pre-show banter for my other show, Cheers from the Press Box with Joe Dorville. A lot of behind-the-scenes stuff going on over there, too. Make sure you just subscribe everywhere, just all over the place. I greatly appreciate it. And if you're not leaving the mean comments, thank you for that. Maybe leave a couple nice ones.
Grab me a beer and grab him a coke. We bout to sit for an hour, bullshit and tell jokes. And please don't mix it up, cause he done sobered up. Brennan T Comedy on your social media feeds. And Brennan Tassif is your ex-drinking buddy. Brennan Tassif is your ex-drinking buddy. Brennan Tassif is your ex-drinking buddy. Brennan Tassif is your ex-drinking buddy.
What is up, everybody? Welcome into another edition of Brennan Tassif is your ex-drinking buddy. I'm your host, Brennan Tassif. If you're new to the program, quick rundown of the show. I used to be everyone's favorite drinking buddy. It was my favorite thing to do, hang out with friends, get drunk, do drugs, get in all sorts of trouble, and then reminisce about those crazy stories. I am sober now, but it's still one of my favorite things to do, hang out with somebody and reminisce about the old days. Most weeks I will be joined by a guest. This week is no exception. All the way from New York City, Liam Dalton.
Thank you for having me, man.
What's up, dude?
Not much. I'm happy to be here. I'm sad that you're sober, but good for you. I'm happy for you.
I say it on stage all the time, but everyone always cheers, and I'm like, it wasn't like a cool thing getting here, guys. Like, It's not, and it's also incredibly boring.
Yeah, I mean, but you get to drink a lot of Diet Cokes with lemon.
Yeah. I'm just a big water guy, which is lame.
Yeah, I get that because I'm not sober.
You got like a lot going on.
I always need a drink, so maybe I'll be with you co-hosting this one day. But
do me a favor before we get too far into anything. Plug everything up front. I know you do a show with Cypher Sounds and the whole deal.
Liam Dalton live on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, MySpace, Venmo, and I do a show at QED Astoria. Shout out every month called Coming to America. I did do Cocoa Cream at the Stand every Tuesday, which tragically came to an end.
Oh, it did? I'm sorry to bring it up.
Thanks for bringing that up.
We literally just talked about this before we started recording.
No, but that was a fun time.
That's how I met you.
It might come back. Yeah.
Yeah.
It might come back. We just might have to move the day around, but for the foreseeable future.
Coming to America at QED.
Coming to America, QED. Oh. Yes.
So I wanted to have you on because we met outside of the Stand. God, that was a few months ago now. But you were standing out there with Cypher, and you were talking to my friend Katie Blunt, friend of the show. And I walked up, and then Cypher just yelled out, "Is this the cheesecake guy?" Because from time to time, when I leave the restaurant that I work at, I will bring sweet treats because we have a lot of good desserts to friends of mine. If they're like, "Hey, are you going to the Stand tonight?" Because everyone knows I hang out a lot. Or are you going to be at the Cellar? And I'll be like, "Yeah." They'll be like, "Hey, would you mind grabbing me a piece of whatever?" And so then we were all just talking out there, and then I was like, "Dude, you got to come on the podcast." And then we kind of didn't talk about it for a while. And then I reached out, and you were like, "Fuck yeah, let's do it."
Bro, anytime. Which, by the way, your version of that story is way different than our version.
What is your... Yeah.
From the perspective we got, which is the reason why we were like, the cheesecake guy. And then
what happened? Because I was downstairs watching the show, and Katie was like, "Hey, are you going to the Stand tonight?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she was like, "Would you bring me," because I brought her one before. She was like, "Will you bring me the cheesecake?" And I was like, "Of course." And I was downstairs watching the show, and I was like checking my phone, and I was like, "Where are?" Like you said, you'd be here like an hour ago. Like, okay. Where are you? So, and then I came out, and she was talking to you guys doing something.
So Katie did not set up any of this way. She did not mention, "Oh yeah, it's Brennan. He's a comic. He works at this restaurant. And he always brings stuff." She was just like, "Yeah, there's a guy. He's coming with a cheesecake." And we were like, "What?" We were like, "I think you're about to get molested by a cheesecake." And this is just
Cheesecake Man.
By the Cheesecake Man, coming this fall to NBC, the Cheesecake Man. So then
I can't believe she set it up like that.
Yeah, so we were like, "Oh my, are you okay?" And then we were like, "We should probably be with you when the Cheesecake Man comes." But we weren't planning on that. We were just like, I think we were outside shooting something.
Yeah, you were shooting something.
We were probably shooting a promo for the show that doesn't exist anymore. And thanks for bringing that up. And we see the Cheesecake Man arrive, and we're like, "Oh my God, that's the guy!" And then we're like, "Oh, he's a comic."
Yeah, that was That was
Everyone
fun.
knows this guy.
Because I was like, because I knew Sypha a little bit just because we've run into each other. And that was the thing was when I first moved to New York, and I've had this debate constantly with comics, was hangover mics. Like the hang versus the mic scene.
Oh, I thought you meant
first
hangover open mics.
Those two.
Like an early Sunday morning open mic.
But,
Sorry, go ahead.
No, but like what's more important? And I've always been of the belief because I had started comedy in 2009 and then really got back into it in 2018. When I moved to New York, I was like, oh, I've done a lot of the shitty bar shows and the shitty mics. And like I've done a lot of that. So I still do them. But I value the hang more than the mics.
Yeah.
And so I hang a lot. So that's how I've gotten to meet, like, that's how I got Joe List on the podcast and stuff like that. Nice. But so I kind of knew Sypha from, like, being around.
Yeah.
But you and I had never met. And then Katie and I have been friends since I got here because we went to Mike's a lot together. So it was just weird because when I walked up and then he was like, it's the cheesecake guy. I was like, oh, I thought we knew each other, man. I thought
By the way, don't take that personal. That man does not sleep at all. And
also she described it as like a psycho with a cheesecake.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Exactly. So that's her fault. Katie Blunt, we're coming for you.
We're coming for you.
But also, yeah, I've seen that a million times where someone's like, "Oh yeah, I've known Sypha for years," and he's like, "What was their name again?" What dessert do they bring after shows at 3 a.m.?
I used to a long time ago, about 20 years ago, when I was 18, I worked at a place in Daytona where I'm from, and this is back before like my concussion stuff really started to like take effect. I used to be like razor sharp with like names and faces, like crazy, like almost like photographic, didactic kind of a memory, where I would meet someone once and then it would burn into my brain. So a friend of mine who was very like well known in Daytona, which I don't know what that says, but a friend of mine
almost sounds like an insult,
who was older than me, but like owned a couple businesses and like knew everybody, would bring me out with him because of that. Because he like people would run up and give him a hug, and then he'd turn to me and I'd be like, "That's so and so, so and so. You know them from this, this, and this." Like
you were like his campaign advisor.
Yeah, exactly. So I understand that feeling of being the guy where Sypha turns to you and he's like, "What's that? What? Who? Huh?"
That was pretty much like my role with him, like pretty verbatim, where he would be like, even if I didn't know the person, he would be like, all right, maybe I shouldn't be saying this, but whatever. He's like,
the introduction thing.
Yeah.
You introduce yourself. Tracy, my girlfriend, and I have a code word for that.
Oh, wait, I didn't know this was a universal
This is a thing, yeah. So, like, if we go out, because I hang so much, I've met a lot of people, and some of them, like, they go to, like, a mic every 3 months, so it's hard to remember them, and also brain damage. So, it is one of those things.
Alcohol.
Where, where when I go out with my girlfriend, Tracy, I will say, we have a code word, and she knows if I say that word to introduce herself to the person.
What's the code word?
It's like a thing.
What's the code word?
The code word is, it's like a phrase. So, if I go, "This is Tracy, my girlfriend," she knows I know their name. If I go, "This is my girlfriend," she goes, "Hi, I'm Tracy." So then they say their name back.
That's pretty similar to what Sypha said, where he's like, if I introduce you, get their name. If I introduce them to you. But all that to me just feels like a regular introduction. I would always forget, and he'd be like, "I told you."
You got to get their name.
I'm just in the moment. I'm just having fun.
And it's funny because with Tracy, she's done that a couple of times, and I'll be like, "Listen, you have to," even if they don't say their name, even if you go, "I'm Tracy," and they just go, "Oh, nice to meet you," you have to say, "What was your name again?" And then and then you'd be like, "Oh, Liam," and I go, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry. This is my friend Liam."
I get it, but also it's like if you don't know that you're on a scheme 24/7. These just both feel like regular introductions for when you meet people. I don't know. If you're not running like a scam, then that's just going
to be the name of the episode. On a scheme 24/7. Let's talk about you though. So you had mentioned to me earlier, you're from this area. You're from New York.
Queens, yeah.
So you were born and raised in Queens.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And so this is something I ask all my guests, and it's just something that's interesting to me. And we know this from experience, but comedy is such a niche thing, stand-up comedy. And I'm sure being raised in the New York area, it's a little different. But how did you even find stand-up? Like, how did you find comedy?
For a while, I bet you asked this to all your guests.
I do. Well, because it's interesting to me because
you literally said that.
When you deal with regular people, they'll be like, "I love comedy." And you go, "Oh, really? Who's your favorite comedian?" They go, "Dave Chappelle." And it's like, you don't... Everybody knows Dave Chappelle. Like, you don't... or they'll be like, "Robin Williams." And I'm like, he's been dead for 7 years. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, but he's alive to us.
To me.
For a while, I was kind of like that. Like, I was always class clown, whatever, and people would always be like, oh, the comedian's here. Oh, the comedian. But I would never just, like, register that as a job. Like, oh, one day I'm going to be a comedian. And I really didn't watch that much stand-up growing up. I would watch SNL, honestly, and that was really the comedy that I watched. And I would watch, like, Andy Milonakis, shout out.
Shout out
I think
to
he lives in
Andy.
Astoria. But let's find him. And
Let's find him. We're coming for you, Andy.
Andrew Milonakis. Yeah, I didn't really watch that much stand-up, and people would always be like, you got to do comedy. You got to do comedy. I'd be like, shut up, lady. And even if they were a man, I would say that. And then when I was in like college, I got more into stand-up. And then I got I'm pretty obsessive with things. So I got,
me
like,
too.
Obsessed with stand-up
Okay.
and stuff. And
What was the thing that I'm sure you were going to get to this, and I interrupted you for no reason, which a lot of my listeners hate. But what was the thing? Trust
I heard
me,
about that.
I get it in the comments all the time.
People have
Let
been
your
talking
guests talk. What was the thing where you went from being class clown to I'm going to try this? Do you remember the moment?
Well, you know what's crazy? I had a moment in freshman year of high school where I remember texting my friend. He doesn't remember this, but I remind him every week. I go, maybe I should do stand-up comedy. And he goes, nah, I don't think so, bro. He goes, for that, you got to kind of have like more of a universal sense of humor. And I was like, all right. And I just never thought about it for another 10 years.
Jeez.
Yeah. So he might have stunted my growth.
Well, we also know that because we were talking about some of the clips that we've seen that have gone viral where you're like, in the room, they didn't do well, but it's like a big universal appeal or whatever. And people are like, oh, I can relate to that. And you're like,
but then you have the opposite where it's like such a niche thing. Like I don't know if you know, I Think You Should Leave, the sketch show.
Oh,
Tim
love
Robinson.
it. Tim
it's like, that
is the
feels
best.
like such a niche thing that it's like a classic.
It's well, and it's also it is strange because I've had both interactions where people have been like, oh my God, you're so funny, you should do stand up, and then also like I have an ex who's been on the show who lives in New York who ran into a friend of mine the other day and was like, oh, he's still doing that. And it's like, I've been doing this since you've known me. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, which that's probably just bitterness and shade for no reason. But there is the fact
So is
that...
me explaining it.
True. And I hope you're listening, Cheryl. That's not her name. I don't know her name. But there's that aspect of it that's just bitterness and someone hating for no reason. But there's also the fact that it is so subjective.
Yeah.
Where, like, someone who we think is, like, the best comic running right now, a lot of people will just be like, I don't really see it.
Yeah.
It's just how it is.
Well, and it's happened, too, where there's comics who could be a little more abrasive and offensive. Like, Ari's a great example, and I've met Ari a bunch. I wouldn't call him a friend, but an acquaintance. And when his special came out, Jew, I was like,
what did you just say?
That's his special. It's called Jew.
Wait.
Jew, all capital.
That's actually not what that's what Brendan calls it.
I call it Jew because my girlfriend's going to listen and be like, you know I'm Jewish, right? But I love Ari's stand-up, and I wanted Tracy to see it, but I was also like, oh, because she's Jewish, this might like be almost offensive to her. And I was totally misread this. She watched it and loved it. She was like, oh, this is all so relatable.
Yeah.
So it is weird how, like you were saying with Tim, too, it's like weird how something can seem so niche or so out there, but then everyone watches it and they're like, oh, no, this is actually great.
Yeah. And I feel like that's almost like a key. It's like you have to just get as specific to whatever you think is weird about you, and then that's what will connect to people.
Yeah.
Like just as genuine as possible.
Well, and that's the thing that, I mean, I'm sure you do this too, but like I do not take a lot of advice from people, especially unsolicited advice, where they're like, you know, why don't you be sillier? Why don't you do, because I'm a very dark comic, and they'll be like, why don't you do this or do that? And I'm like, no, I'm just going to keep doing what I do, and I know it's going to connect with people eventually.
Yeah,
because I'm not unique, and it's funny to me. But you know what I mean? It's like, so it's got to be funny. Like, I crush in AA rooms. Like, when I do fundraisers and stuff, I fucking murder. So I'm like,
sick.
there is an audience for this. Like, there are people out there who think this is funny.
Yeah, that's why like half the unsolicited advice you got to just throw out I mean, most of it.
Yeah.
And I respect that you're like, I don't listen to any of it. I'm too insecure while I listen to some of it. But it's so true where it's like, yeah, some old person who doesn't watch stand-up comedy ever might be like, hey, why don't you do Don Rickles? It's like, yeah, I'm not going to
Yeah, I'm not going to do that. So let's
Mom.
You know who you are, lady.
You know who you are, Mom.
So let's talk about it. You were a freshman. Someone was like, probably not. And then fast forward years and years. When did you first get on stage?
So I was a rapper, as you could tell.
Obviously,
And,
SoundCloud.
I was actually a rapper, like late high school and early college. And then I realized like I said, I'm obsessive. So I was like going pretty hard with that.
Yeah.
And I realized that like the thing I liked the most was doing a music video just so I could write a sketch for the music video.
Okay.
And then I would perform and people would be like, oh, you're so funny. And I'd be like, what about these bars though?
Yeah.
They're like, oh, but that thing you said in between songs. I'm like, yeah, but what about like that double
What about the
entendre?
bars?
Yeah, come on. And then
I'm dropping fire.
but I honestly, the most fun I had was doing a sketch in a music video and then doing like banter in between
Bits in
songs.
between, yeah.
And then I always, this is going to sound cheesy and the listeners are going to.
They're going to let you know.
They're going to tell me. But my dream was always SNL. So then even with
Well, you said you watched
music-
it a lot as a kid.
Yeah, so that's why that's always as cheesy. I know most of the time it sucks, but I still like love the allure of like it's
Well,
live.
and it's the thing.
Yeah.
It's the thing.
It's an institution.
Yeah, thank you. That's the word I was looking
It's
for.
like the Yankees. So like I was like, okay, maybe I'll be like the musical guest, and then they'll let me host, and then I could be in the sketches. I'm like, I'm doing my entire dream backwards. Like I'm not having that much.
Maybe
fun
I'll be
doing
the
this.
musical guest, and I'll get so big they'll let me host, and then I can be in the sketches.
Yeah, I'm like, oh wait,
you know
just
you can
wanna-
audition for it, right?
Oh wait, I could just do comedy. So then, it's the dumbest.
It was so backwards.
It made no sense at all. But so then eventually I was like, yeah, no, this is what I actually want to do.
Yeah.
So then I started doing.
When
it
was
for
the first time
months.
you got on stage? As a comic, not as a rapper.
You don't want to hear more about my rap.
What was your
story?
rap name? No, I'm actually now. It's funny as you said that. I was like, actually, I do want to know more about this.
Fuck. My rap name was Rusty Gray because I'm a pimp and an old country singer apparently.
Rusty Gray.
Yeah. Well, I used to play
Is
basketball.
it still out there? Please tell me it's still out there.
The music videos.
All the music will be linked in the show notes.
I'm pretty sure it is. I know because you have to pay to like keep it on services.
Yeah.
And haven't had that credit card for years, and I constantly get emails like your DistroKid payment was unsuccessful, and I just ignore them. But somehow they're still on. I don't know.
Cool.
I think they're just letting me, or maybe I'm racking up crazy debt in DistroKid for these stupid.
As soon
raps.
as you make it, you're gonna get a letter in the mail for like you owe us $10,000.
But yeah, all the videos I archived because
Rusty Gray.
I'm scared.
Like, what was the? Do you just liked hip hop and you're like, I want to do that?
Yeah, I love hip hop.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I'm a big. Who's your number one go-to?
Like, well, I'm a big Kendrick fan.
Okay.
So that's I
Obviously.
know it's more recent. Obviously,
He's not like us.
The blacker the berry, right? That's a deep cut from my Kendrick fans. But I love like old.
It's also
like
a line
Jay-Z.
from a Tupac song.
Yeah, which was a big inspiration of K. Dot. All right, we'll be right back. And no, I I love Jay-Z. I love Tribe Called Quest.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, because you're from New York, that makes a lot of sense. You're into
Yeah.
that. Yeah, because I grew up in the South, so we had a lot of like. When I was in high school, Lil Jon and the East Side Boys is what was
Hell
blaring
yeah.
in the locker room and stuff. And
Nice.
Eminem was obviously, as a white kid from the suburbs, Eminem was always like a big go-to for us.
I love old Eminem.
My favorite thing is watching Gen Z react to old Eminem. That's one of
Yeah.
my favorite things to see on YouTube.
But let me tell you this: you ever watch millennials react to Gen Z reacting to Eminem?
I have not gone that deep down the rabbit hole.
Brother, you have a lot to look up later.
That is the Matrix right
Bro,
there.
there's a video of like this like 40-year-old heavyset. I don't know why I said heavyset, but
She's a fat lady.
it's just funny because Eminem would call her fat
Yeah,
back
of
in the day.
course.
But she was like, she did like a Actually, she wasn't fat at all. I don't know why I said that. For all my fact checkers. She did a rap against millennials, against Gen Z who are offended by Eminem, and it was the worst thing ever, but it was the greatest thing ever.
Yeah.
Like it was terrible.
It was so bad it was good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
There's a
was
lot of movies
fantastic.
like that and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. That's my comedy career.
So you were just
Look it up.
fact check that. So you were into music, and then what made you think like, oh, I want to rap? Because I have a little bit of a connection with you on this because in high school and then shortly after high school, my twin sister was dating someone who lives in LA now. He rap? He's a musician, like
Oh,
he
nice.
does a musical artist, I guess. But he raps and stuff. And I remember we would like at 18, 19 years old, we would all be like drunk at like her apartment. And him and his like the crew would stand in a circle and they would put on an instrumental and then they would all just throw to each other and rap. And I remember being drunk, like standing there like, I want to try.
It's the best.
And I'd be like, put your hat on your cap and recognize the fact that I'm fat.
That's called bars.
But they were
so unprofessional of me. I'm sorry.
Do you need to get that?
Name drop.
Ooh. Do you need to get that?
Nah, it's okay. Fuck. No, I'm just.
I'm sorry, one of the biggest comics working right now. I'm doing a podcast that a few thousand people listen to.
A few thousand? That's pretty good.
Well, according to the RSS subscribers, it's like 7,000 a month.
Oh,
but I don't trust those numbers because my following is dog shit. So I'm like, I don't know if that's right.
But maybe they're listening and they're like, I love the podcast. I don't have to know what you ate for breakfast.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people say. They go, yeah, I don't follow half the things I listen to. And I'm like, oh, I follow everything I listen to. But how did you even, like, were you good? Like, did you have an affinity? Because I love rap music and hip hop in general, but like, I can't do that. So like, how did you like get into spitting bars?
I always loved writing. I wasn't a natural musician.
Yeah.
Like I didn't have like a flow right away. I was pretty bad at first, but I loved writing and like even like I would write like funny lines.
Yeah.
So I was like, it makes sense looking back. But then eventually I got like decent, but I'm still like, that's not like who I am naturally. You know what I mean? Like stand-up comedy is more like just me being me. And that was more me like, all right, let me get into my darkness right now. Let me dive deep.
That was me playing football my whole life.
Really?
Yeah. Where I was like, ouch, this hurts. But I was like, you put on the helmet and you're like, all right, find the animal.
Yeah. My helmet was a do-rag.
Yeah.
I'll send you the picture. No, I'm just kidding.
Please send me the picture for the cover art, please. Please.
All right, fine.
So what was that like? Like, what was it like to like, how, were you booking gigs? You said you would like do shows and do bits in between. So like, you actually made a concerted effort to do that.
Yeah, as embarrassing as it is, I did go pretty hard with it.
That's awesome.
I did a lot of gigs. I started pretty much when I was in college. I dormed for half a semester. Don't want to brag.
Where did you go to college?
For a year, I went to Manhattanville College, which is in Westchester.
Okay.
It's about like 45 minutes an hour away. And I did like campus gigs, and I had a group with my roommate, and we were doing gigs.
What was the name of the group?
I thought I turned this off.
Check it. We can edit that out.
Sorry.
It might be important. Hey, do you want to come on tour with me?
No, stop texting me. It's fine. Okay.
No, I don't want to open for you. I don't care about the money in all the cool cities. I'm doing a podcast.
Seriously. No, I will not make out with you. Billy Madison.
I'm trying to learn about the chlorophyll.
Go on with the chlorophyll. Okay. Yeah, so the group was called Ides of March.
Oh, okay.
You know about the Ides of March?
Yeah.
I forget the history of it already, but it was because we were both born in March. It's pretty crazy. Pretty deep. You know, you guys at home don't
it's
even
real
get
meta.
that.
You don't even understand.
Yeah, it's like triple entendre. Don't even ask me how.
It's just how it works.
And we would do like little gigs there, and we won like the competition. Sorry, I just kissed your microphone.
That's okay.
I'm used to this kind of setup. Okay. We won a competition at the school, and then I went off and did my solo stuff, and then
Sure.
yeah. And then eventually the height of my career was Netflix had like an American Idol rap show.
Fuck you.
What?
Fuck you.
What? I didn't even say I'm not on Netflix. Clearly. But
I thought this was you getting ready to unload. Like, so I did this thing, and now it's on Netflix, and that's why I was like, get out of my apartment.
And I have an album coming out right now. No, I'm
actually really famous. Brandon didn't even realize how famous I was when he booked me.
Wait, have you heard of Netflix?
You looked up my personal Instagram. You didn't look up. You didn't look up Rusty Gray.
By the way, towards the end of when I was still kind of doing music, I did have like this secret dream of doing comedy, and I was like, I don't want to like shock people. I don't want people to think I'm just doing different things. So maybe I should make like a burner account and not tell anyone. Like that thought did come to my head at one point.
So what happened with the Netflix thing?
I made it past like the online auditions, and I auditioned in person.
Oh shit!
To it was at SOBs in the city, and the judges were Cardi B, Jadakiss, and Fat Joe. And I was
auditioned in front of them.
Yeah, and it was the longest day.
You
ever.
auditioned
this guy right here
with the red hair and the blue eyes and
yes, and the slurs that I said that shouldn't have been said. No,
that's
no,
my Jadakiss.
Ha! That's pretty good.
Thank you.
Wait, one more time. That's pretty good. I'm gonna make that my ringtone.
Clip it.
So it was
How'd it go?
They had us like all
You said longest
backed
day
up.
of your life.
Longest day ever. It was like 20 of us, probably more, honestly. And we were just waiting around all day. And they had like the order of who was gonna go already. And some people had already that documentary style like shoot the day before. So I was like, oh well, these guys are already in. If they did this long dramatic novella about how this guy came out of the closet in Brownsville. And I was like, all right, well, that doesn't look good for me. And then I was waiting.
Just a regular old white guy from Long Island.
Yeah, Queens. Don't disrespect.
Sorry, Queens.
Shut up. And then it was a really long day. I hadn't gone. I was
You were quick with that.
Dead last. Yeah, don't disrespect me. And there was a point where 20 people went and they stopped. And the producers went over to Cardi and Jada and Fat Joe. And they had like a meeting, and then they went back. And looking back, the girl who they had just said yes to the next day got a call like, we said yes to too many people, like you can't go.
Oh shit.
So I think that's what that meeting was. So I was pretty confident that by the time I got up, none of it mattered.
Yeah, they didn't have any yeses left.
Yeah, so I actually did pretty well. And then they didn't really they were shitting on people, but they didn't shit on me. They kind of just
that's
complimented
awesome,
me.
dude.
The biggest moment was, so Jadakiss goes, your rhymes you're spitting are good. There were a couple flow mishaps that I caught because I do this, but no one else noticed. You did pretty good. And then Cardi was like, you young, so you'll figure it out. No, it was pretty good. That was it. And then Fat Joe goes, I like you, but if you're going to be out here trying to be white, and I was like, trying to be white? And then that got a little pop, and I was like, oh, that felt good. And then he goes, there's cats out here like Eminem. And I was like, what? So that was like the extent of it. And I was like, fucking Fat Joe. He just said, if I can't try to be white because Eminem exists.
Yeah.
So I try to be Puerto Rican. Like what? and then so I didn't get
Liam. That's a deep cut callback right there.
Before we're even recording.
I know.
Liam. It's crazy. Then 2 weeks later, I knew someone who was a writer on, I don't know if you know Deezus and Mero.
Of course, that show.
And they were doing a Knicks draft lottery special. And they were like, oh, it's at some bar. You could come watch. And we're like, oh, yeah, cool. So I went. And the guests that day were Jadakiss and Fat Joe.
Were you like, what's up now?
Well, kind of. So I was telling...
we in the streets now.
Yeah.
You ain't got no producers with you now.
No one had Netflix to save you now. Cardi's not here. And... I was with my brother-in-law and his friend, and I was telling my brother-in-law's friend the story, and I was like, yeah, Fat Joe said this. Should I fuck him up? Should I fuck up Fat Joe right here, right now? And obviously, I think he thinks I'm joking because look at me.
Yeah.
And it's Fat Joe. And then, like, 20 minutes later, Fat Joe is right next to me, and he gestures to me about someone else who's, like, acting crazy at the bar.
Your brother-in-law does?
No, Fat Joe.
Oh, he does?
Fat Joe is annoyed by someone else that's at the bar. I think it was, like, his boy. But Fat Joe goes to me, does like the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Like,
yeah,
me.
The put him up.
So all my brother-in-law's friend sees is right after I told him I'm going to fuck Fat Joe up, I'm right next to Fat Joe, and Fat Joe is...
It's giving you the stick him up, put him up, put him up.
Yeah, like it's a weigh-in before a fight, and I'm like, this guy thinks I'm going to fight Fat Joe right now.
Did Fat Joe remember you?
No.
You see, you're not a forgettable face.
Oh, thanks, man.
Of course. So I thought he would be like, that would be so funny if you turned to him and just been like, what's up now, man? What's up now?
Listen, if you're going to be out here trying to be Hispanic.
If you're going to be out here trying to be Latino, man.
Big pun, I
don't know if you know Flo Rida, but.
Damn. Is he Latino?
I don't know. That was just the first name. I wanted to say.
That's the end of this podcast.
I wanted to say Pitbull, but it didn't come to me fast enough.
Mr. 305 worldwide.
Hey. Better believe it. So what happened after the obviously the rap thing kind of fizzles out, and then you get into stand up. What was the? I'm interested to know, and I know we kind of circled it, but did you just start going to open mics? Did you like sign up for a comedy class? Like, what was your introduction into doing stand up?
I just did open mics, and I gave myself like a month. I kept wanting to do it, but kept pussying out of it, and I was like, all right, by next month, I'm going to an open mic.
Yeah.
So I was writing for like a month, and for like the past year, I had done like kind of like weekend update type of jokes on Instagram. So it's kind of like
because you're younger than me, so you had social media and all this stuff coming up. Yeah.
So I kind of like eased my way into it, and then I did the first open mic, and then I just did a million open mics all the time.
Yeah.
And then I never did a class.
Were you living in Queens at the time, or were you in
Yeah.
the city? You were in Queens?
Yeah.
So were you just subwaying in every day?
I would drive.
Oh,
So,
okay.
Yeah, so I,
Hard flex.
you know what I'm saying? Ladies might not have an apartment, but I have a car.
What's
So-
up now?
Back then, you weren't with me. When Fat Joe dissed me, you didn't want any of this. Now I have a car, so I don't even have to be good at rapping. I have a car. I have a mom. My mom has a pool.
You have a pool?
My mom has a pool.
That's
and,
what
and I can use it anytime I want.
party at Williams.
Actually, I'm going to have a party there on Saturday if you want to come.
Yeah.
Listeners,
You won't. The party from 3 weeks ago was a blast.
it was so much fun.
You guys missed out.
This guy, I almost gave him an actual beer. Then I was like, no, this one's 0.
This one is a what is the what is that? The Spindrift. This one's a Spindrift.
What's Spindrift?
Spindrift is like a LaCroix. It's like a
nice.
sparkling seltzer.
Nice.
People love it. People love it. Speaking of, let's get into it. You sent me a couple of stories.
Yes.
Before we get into those, a couple of things I want to ask. Obviously, as a former rap star, when did you live that kind of like a rap lifestyle?
In what
Like
sense?
with the girls and the drugs and the drinking and the partying?
No, as contrary. Okay, what's 3, 2? Contrary to what you see on Instagram, if you're like a SoundCloud rapper, you don't have hoes just waiting around. I know like so many people that I would like meet at shows, like other rappers, that they would try to put that out there. I'm like, we know that's your cousin.
Well, yeah, what are you doing?
Yeah.
We understand how this works.
Yeah, we did the same show at that dive bar in Flatbush.
That
and
we had to pay to be on.
Yeah. You had to bring that girl in order to get on stage.
Oh, so they had like bringer shows and stuff for rapping?
Pretty much. So that's
Well, I
why,
guess, yeah, that makes sense. For everything, they probably have bringer shows. God, I sound like an idiot.
No, I mean to those at home, if you know bringer shows, you have to bring people to get on stage, and yeah, that's why when I got into comedy, I was like, oh, this is slightly less scammy, or I already knew the tricks. So
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I know.
Yeah, it's funny now doing because you've been doing comedy for a while now, so you know as well. Because we are initiated, aren't we, Bruce?
Wait, what? Wait, say that again.
We are initiated, aren't we, Bruce?
Where's that from?
The
sorry.
Dark Knight Rises,
Ah,
the one with Tom Hardy as Bane. Don't say you've never seen it. It's
sorry.
one of the greatest films Michael Nolan's ever made.
I'm sorry.
I just said Michael Nolan, Christopher Nolan. God, I'm gonna get roasted
Wow.
for that. Wow.
At least I didn't make that mistake.
I know. So, but like, when was the first time you drank?
First time I drank, I was 13 and drank by accident. I drank a water bottle from my sister's dorm room fridge. And I should have known it was my fault because it had the wrapper off. So
Yeah.
that's
Telltale
vodka.
sign.
Yeah, so that's on me. I shouldn't have been such a rookie. And
At 13.
yeah,
So what were you doing in your sister's dorm room at 13? Just hanging?
hooking up with her roommate, of course. No, it was her graduation. We were moving her out.
Oh, okay.
And then one last swig before we hit the road.
Before I need this for the road, Mom.
And then I didn't drink until I was.
Did that kind of like mess you up? Were you like, oh, this is gross, or that's just what is this?
I thought it was gross, but I wasn't like drunk.
Okay.
I'm Irish. I'm not a lightweight.
Yeah.
And then I didn't drink.
Don't
again.
let the body type fool you.
Lightweight body, heavyweight with the sauce. And then
We've
I
got
didn't
a word
drink.
for that. It's called alcoholism.
Fuck. Is this just an intervention? Let me get one of those.
Come on in, guys. Come on. We've got Fat Joe and Jadakiss here. Cardi B couldn't make it.
I'll only get sober if Cardi's here.
Okay.
So you like have a problem and stuff. So like sometimes you drink, you get different. Like you have a family to care about. I'm sorry.
Your mom.
Damn, that was the most heartfelt "your mom" I've ever heard. And I didn't drink again until I was 16.
I didn't drink again. Like it was some devastating experience. You piece of shit.
What?
Yeah, it was a rough ride home, and
That was
I didn't drink again for years.
that was rock bottom for me. And I was like, I gotta clean my act up. I got a CYO game in a couple days. Like, what am I doing?
They need me on the court.
I gotta straighten my life up. And so I was.
I didn't drink again. I love how you took a beat and you like looked. Like, yeah, I didn't drink again for years.
Push in on me, camera A.
Camera A, cut it to B.
I was sober for 3 years, and then
16. What happens?
16. My oldest sister gets married, and come on,
That's the brother-in-law.
it's the brother-in-law, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And good, you're a good listener.
Yeah.
See, that's why years ago you wouldn't have listened. We would have been doing shots on all these hoes on the couch.
The couch. All the hoes on the couch.
All the hoes on the couch.
Good job keeping quiet, hoes.
You just call hoes, but in a nice like tone, like "Thank you, hoes. Good to see you, hoes."
You've been doing great, hoes. I imagine that's a lot of what your rap career was.
Love the bitches. Yes.
You hoes are great.
You hoes have been phenomenal. I think I'm gonna skedaddle now.
Skedaddle.
Yeah. So my
Because
sister.
I'm like a baby playing with the rattle.
You hear my words, it's like I play Scrabble.
Oh! Somebody call the fire department.
Because I'm getting sunburned through the window. It doesn't make sense.
It does. Natural light.
Natural light, baby.
So then when you're 16, what happens? I'm sorry. Your older sister gets married.
Older sister gets married. I'm getting fucked up with
Wow,
my
so she
cousin.
got married 3 years out of college. Good for her.
No. I have
how many
3 older sisters.
Oh, wow. So you're the
Yeah.
youngest.
I'm the youngest. Actually, now I have 2 half sisters too that I just found out.
Wow.
About. That equals 1. So I guess technically I have 4 sisters. Shout out.
Shout out to the 2 halvesies out there.
They probably love that I call them that.
Halvesies? I was going to make a joke, but I don't think it's appropriate.
Do it, please.
That's
Are you serious, man? What the hell?
that's Logic's nickname.
Logic's nickname?
Halvesies.
Halfsies. Oh. Wow.
I was actually going to say someone we both know personally, but they might listen to this, and I don't want to say that.
Now I want to know. So we'll do it off air.
Off air. Off mic, we'll talk about.
That's on the page.
Off mic, we'll talk about all the people who are mixed out there.
Yeah, off mic will be racist. Or on the Patreon.
The Patreon.
Do you have a Patreon?
Fuck yeah, I got a Patreon.
Oh, hell yeah.
I do Tales from the Restaurant because I work at a swanky place. A bunch of famous people come in.
Nice.
And I just talk about whether they're cool or not.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's called Tales from the Restaurant.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, I've done Neil Patrick Harris, Joe Rogan, Jim Parsons. I've done a bunch of people.
That's pretty dope. So you tease who it's going to be about?
Yeah.
That's
Actually,
fine.
that's a good idea. I should start doing that.
Oh, you haven't been doing that?
No, I just always
That'd be $25.
talk about Tales from the Restaurant, and then nobody actually. That's true. Nobody actually knows what it is,
Oh, you
except
gotta
the
tell
people
them.
who subscribe already, which is
Alright.
kind of a.
You just don't want to grow a bigger audience. It's fine.
It's what happens at the fucking wedding.
So I'm just slinging Jack and Coke.
But how does that happen? You're 16. It's your sister's wedding. Like, what's going? Like, are you sneaking away from your family? Are you doing it right in front of your mom? Like, how's this working?
I mean,
Were you when you're getting ready for the wedding? Are you like, I'm getting fucked up tonight?
well, I was a groomsman.
Okay.
I was one of the 2 best men actually, because my sister was with my brother-in-law since they were 13.
Oh wow.
And I was 4, so he's like my brother. He's like one of my best friends. Can you play some sad music when I say that? Like,
Yeah.
Or like violins, like from the end of Full House
So gay.
episodes.
So
and
gay.
then, and so I was one of his best men. And before we went to the wedding, we were doing shots of fucking limoncello.
Yeah.
One of his groomsmen is a real ginzo, and so then we get to the wedding, and I'm like, me and my cousin are kind of just like sneaking away to the bar, but like it's probably assumed.
Yeah.
And they probably knew. So we were just throwing back Jack and Cokes and just hitting the dance floor.
You having a good time?
Yeah, we're having fun.
Didn't nobody threw up? Nobody made an ass out of
No,
themselves?
knock on wood, I've never really gotten to that point.
Wow.
And I get drunk pretty often.
Yeah.
But I don't like I've like had like a baby little like acid reflux attack.
Yeah.
Maybe
Throw up in your mouth a little bit.
yeah, like maybe a little bit on my jacket when I'm already home, but I've never really like full on.
Wow.
And I've never blacked out.
Wow. It's that Irish in you.
I'm a great guy.
Yeah. I used to and I guess I still do this even though I don't drink anymore. But I got so used to throwing up that it was just my first instinct was to just be like, "Oh, my stomach isn't feeling great, so I'll just go vomit."
Like you would force yourself to?
Yeah, like if I drank, because I drank excessive amounts, so if I drank enough to where like I would get that queasy feeling, instead of just sitting with that or being like I need to go to bed, I would just go to the bathroom and throw. I would puke and rally. I would just
come
go.
back.
Yeah.
And keep the party going.
Yeah, of course.
You're a real trooper.
Well, and I had a bit about it where it's like I didn't figure out I was bulimic until I was 36 because I would eat too much, and then if like again I got so used to throwing up that if my stomach hurts at all, I'll just be like I'm gonna just go throw up.
It's like you got bulimic in order to be a better drinker.
Yeah, absolutely, and that it was. And she's going to hate me for saying this, but I'm not going to edit it out. My older sister was the one who told me about it when we were younger. And like I was in my early 20s, I would drink with her and I'd be like, I feel so sick. She goes, just go throw up. And I was like, really? She goes, yeah, if you throw up, you'll feel better. And I did. And I did. Like I threw up and I felt great. And I was like, that's the secret.
And you're like, I think Jessica might have a problem.
So now, to this day, at 36 years old, if I eat too much pizza and my stomach starts like getting twisty, I'll be like, yeah, I'm just going to go throw up.
Oh, you'll still do it?
Yeah.
So what do you do to make yourself throw up?
Well, I've been doing it for so long now, I can literally just do it on command.
But starting off, like...
Oh, well, starting off, I didn't have to make myself because I felt sick. Huh. So you would just get to the toilet and like just give yourself a little, and then your body's like, oh, we're getting this out. Because I felt sick. And now I had done it. It's not a point of pride. I know it's disgusting, but
it's actually pretty cool.
I just done it for so long. Like now, like if I have a stomach ache, I'm just like, yeah, I'm just going to go get this out.
And then it pretty much always, you're better
Almost
after?
always I feel better.
Damn.
Unless I'm like legit sick, like have the flu or food poisoning or something, I'll throw up and I'll feel better because it's like a workout. Like your body releases endorphins and stuff like that because you are straining a ton of muscles to do it.
Yeah, I know, but it's funny how seriously you say it. Like it's a workout. You get some, you sweat it out. Your body's working.
I will feel better for like a couple of minutes. But if you're like legit sick, your body you come back down. Like your body's like, no, asshole, you don't feel good. So you've never thrown up from drinking. No,
honestly, like I'm pretty jealous of that because I've had stomach issues my whole life, and I've never had that talent of being able to make myself throw up. And I've tried before, like when I was a kid, like when I would have stomach aches, I would try to make myself throw up.
Really?
And I was never able to do it.
See, I've met people like that before where they hate throwing up so much they just like won't do it or can't do it, or like their body just won't.
I'm not a big.
It just doesn't.
Puker.
Yeah,
but it's crazy because I have a lot of acid reflux problems where I often feel like I could probably throw up, but I never do.
Yeah, it's because everyone in my family well, not everyone, but a lot of people have like really bad anxiety. So and we all like to drink. So like throwing up has just been a thing.
Yeah.
In my family forever.
Yeah, no, I get that. I feel like my biological makeup is just to keep pushing it down.
Yeah, just shove. Yeah, you're Irish. Just keep it, bury it
down
as far as you can.
So far that,
and then you drown it with the booze.
Yeah. So then, but I'm so consciously putting it down that it'll never come back up. If anything, it'll go down. It'll go out the other way, which that has been a problem of mine.
So you've never blacked out either.
No.
So every dumb decision you've made, you've woken up the next day and been like, fuck.
Yeah, I've definitely had to like remember 3 days later.
Yeah.
Or 3 weeks later, but not like a full blackout where I'm like, I don't remember getting home.
See, it's weird because talking about it now, it seems so foreign because I've been sober for 6 years, but like that used to be a daily occurrence where I would wake up because towards the end I would just drink alone because that was the safest thing. Because I'd gotten arrested so many times and would get in trouble and stuff. And so
drink alone at home? Or?
Yeah, at home. And I would like wake up the next day and I'd be like, oh, I completed like 4 missions on Skyrim and I don't even remember turning on my Xbox. Or I watched like 6 episodes of Burn Notice and don't even remember watching them. So I would black out on a regular basis, but it was very low stakes.
Blacking out by yourself at home is hilarious.
It's very...
And then being like, I completed... And I thought you were going to say something so productive. And I was like, wow. And you're like, missions on Skyrim. I was like, oh. Well.
Side quests, you know?
Side quests.
Just doing side quests.
Watching 6 episodes of Burn notice. That's amazing.
I have a bit about it, but it's true. Like my drinking show for the longest time was Burn Notice. I don't know why. It's just I happened to be in college when it came out. We thought it was so cool. Like this guy, he's so like slick, and he's a burn spot. And so I used to just get fucked up and watch that show. Like just like they'd say a cool line in the show, and I'd be like, "Yeah, cheers." So my family.
Oh my god, that's hilarious.
Yeah, and I'm glad you enjoy it. See, these are the things we're talking about when we say subjective, because sometimes I talk about it on stage and people are like, that's disgusting. Like, you have a serious problem. And you're like, no, that's so funny. But my ex-fiance and I used to share a Netflix account. And so whenever she would see recently watched or continue watching Burn Notice, I would get a text like, hey, is everything okay?
That's hilarious.
That's how bad it was.
You're like, no, my liver is on Burn Notice.
Well, let's talk about it, because you sent me a couple of stories and we've got a little bit of time left. So let's talk about, I want to talk about the sucker punch.
Okay.
Where was this? Set the scene, set the mood.
Okay, so for a while, especially in my hip hop days, that was kind of more like my serious phase. I was still like a clown and an idiot.
Yeah.
But like I was more kind of on edge, like
how long?
18 years old.
What age were you when you stopped doing music and started doing comedy?
22.
Okay.
I guess. Yeah.
So
22.
the music went from like high school all the way up past college.
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't finish college. Thanks for bringing that up.
But you know what I mean.
Yeah. College.
I just said past college. I didn't say you finished college.
Yeah, but I didn't pass college.
You went past it though.
I walked right past
on the
it.
timeline. You went past it.
Past the bar too. I'm sorry. Should we end it now?
Yeah, that was fun, man. Thanks for coming.
All right, so I was like, I had a phase where I was like ready to fight people for no reason, but like, you know, the bar code. It's so dumb to think going back where it's like, oh, that guy.
2 of those 8 arrests are because of this.
Hell yeah. So I like that. I didn't mean to. Sorry. Let's have a PSA about alcoholism.
Violence is the supreme authority under which all other authority is derived.
Wow, that was beautiful.
Thank you. It's from Starship Troopers.
Oh, I thought it was from your PO. Say this every morning into the mirror.
Violence is good.
So I had that phase where like I would still mostly have a good time, but I definitely was, anytime I drank and someone tested me, I was more insecure. I would be ready to fight, and I would like.
Which is hilarious to me, because you are not we're friends, but you are not an imposing figure.
Not at all. That's why it is funny looking back. And then I had
What'd you say?
But
What's up, Fat Joe? Who's white now?
Who's leaning back now? Huh? You terrorized by my squad?
Terror Squad, shout out.
Shout out. They're listening.
I'll tag him in it.
But yeah, I had
That is the cool thing about the internet. He could see that.
He could see it.
I'm going to cut the clip and I'll tag him in it and we'll see what happens.
And he'll block you. And so I definitely imagine he blocked you. It'd be pretty cool. Fuck you, Fat Joe. I still hate you.
Come on.
Okay, we'll cut that out. That's for the Patreon.
We're not cutting it.
He served him at the restaurant, Fat Joe. He said he was a dick. Spoiler alert. Give me the $25 now. So I had that phase where I was
$5.
I'm upcharging people.
Yeah.
So, and then after a while, especially when I started doing comedy, I was like, this is so dumb. No one's thinking.
Would you actually get into fights, or would you just posture?
I would always almost get into fights.
Yeah.
And then I had a couple times where I would get kicked out of places, but genuinely for no reason. And I know that no one ever thinks it's their fault, but like, I'll give you an example. I was at the Whiskey Brooklyn. Fuck you, Whiskey Brooklyn. And I was there just for like my family friend's birthday. We're having a good time. And then this girl came up to me and was like, hey, can I put my jacket there? I was like, yeah, sure. And then.
Yeah, you can.
You can put your jacket more places than that.
Oh, hey.
Oh, so I got a jacket if we want to get busy later.
Hickory dickory dock. Ow.
Oh. And then I imagine you had an actual cigarette. And
I do. They're right there.
Oh shit. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with.
I smoke
smoking.
Newports. Look at us having things in common.
We're black, and so I don't know. I'm talking to her. We're like joking around, laughing. Then I go back to my friends and my family, my sisters, and then like an hour later, I see her again, and I'm like, "Oh, did you ever get your jacket?" And I like made some joke about what we were talking about. And she was like, "Oh fuck, my jacket," and just went to get the jacket. And then this like real like mafioso looking like young guy was like, "Hey, don't talk to her," and then walks away. And I was like, "No, well, she was talking to me." And then as soon as I said that to him, another like beefed up Italian guy comes up to me and goes, "Watch your mouth." And I'm like, "No, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to him." So, so that's the thing. Even when I stopped like being like, I'm not going to start fights, I still would have like the mouth of someone who wants to start fights. So it would be like my goal instead of getting into a fight would be wanting someone else to like
start a fight with you,
just so I could just kind of be slick and run away.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I'm not talking to him, I'm talking to him. And then he was like, another guy came over. And then I swear to God, that was pretty much it. And then the bouncers at Whiskey Brooklyn had me in a full Nelson in 3 seconds. And then I was gone.
So those guys obviously like,
they must be connected.
Yeah,
to
something.
Whether it's not,
whether they spend a lot of money there, or
Yeah,
whether
exactly.
they're
Exactly.
they know the people at Whiskey Brooklyn.
Yeah, exactly. So fuck you, Whiskey Brooklyn. And
So what happened with the third guy? You said a third guy came up and then it was pretty much over. But what do you mean it was pretty much over?
like then the bouncer just had me.
Oh, okay.
It was
So
like,
the third
it
guy
happened
walked up and before anything happened, you were like, "Oh!"
I was literally like, I'm just like in the air now. I'm like, what the fuck?
What'd your family do?
I'm just outside like, oh, by the way,
What did the bouncer say? Like, what happened?
I kept being like, so are you paid off by the mob? Are you paid off? I kept saying that, and they were like, you got to get out of here. You're done. You're done. They were not entertaining anything I said. I was
Yeah.
like, just tell me what I did. And like, you're done. You're done. I was like, all right. And then I was outside before anyone realized I had been kicked out. I was outside kind of like trolling the bouncers, and I just kept calling them cute. And, you know, like big, tough,
Yeah.
like insecure bouncers.
Come here, give me a kiss.
Yeah, I just kept saying stuff like that. And then there was a line to get in, and I had the line chanting that he was cute. And I forgot this until right now. And they were like, he is cute. He is cute. And they were getting so mad. And then my family came in there, like my brother-in-law, my sister, were like, what happened? And then they just see me with like this this cult
Horde
behind
of
me.
people.
They're like, he is cute. And they're like, who's cute? What is going on?
So then did you just leave?
Then I just left. I went to another like party or whatever, and that wasn't even the sucker punch story. I forgot how I got on that one. But okay, so the sucker punch was I eventually came to a decision where I was like, I'm not.
Yeah, that's how we got
involved.
to it, because you were talking about not starting fights anymore, even though you started a fight.
I didn't really start.
No, yeah.
But like
That is so funny to just be you and be like these, because especially in New York, some of these people think they're way cooler than they are, like way more important than they are.
Yeah.
And I say it all the time. Like one of my regulars back in Florida was a legit billionaire, and then you'd have people come in to the restaurant who make like $500,000, and they talk to you like you're a piece of shit.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, I'm friendly with a guy who could literally buy your company. Like, who the fuck are you?
Yeah, and he's a nice guy.
Yeah, exactly.
So what's your excuse?
And then in New York, it's so funny because you'll have this hint of like, oh, my uncle's best friend's brother worked for John Gotti 60 years ago.
Yeah.
And now they think they're somebody.
Exactly. It's like I watched Goodfellas once, and now I wear a gold chain.
Yeah. And so, and a lot of times if you have money, you can get away with stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because if you pay, this is something, my dad was in sales his whole life, and this is something he taught me. Like, if you go to a crowded bar and you want to get good service, you just tip the bartender $50 off the bat and say, remember me. Mm-hmm. And then you could just walk up and like wave at them, and then they'll give you a drink. Mm-hmm. So it's like, if you have money, you could play mobster or play gangster if you wanted to.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
it sounds like that's what these guys were doing.
And there's a lot of people that like will just, that's what they spend their money on, even if they don't have money. That's what they spend it on.
Yeah,
Which
trying
I
to-
respect. I would
yeah.
do that too, honestly.
Yeah.
Especially the.
I'm not
the
talking to you. I'm
bartender.
talking to him.
You hear that? Wait, do you have guys here that are gonna?
No, talking to the host.
Oh.
The very
The
polite
hoes.
host.
Oh, the hoes are so quiet.
That is so funny you said that, though, to these tough guys. Because
I
you're just like a dude, like
I know,
hanging
but-
out with your family. And you're like, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to him.
I know, but that's just I get such a rise out of
That is so funny to me. Because they're like,
It's-
who the fuck does this guy think he is, huh?
I know, and then I say just like jokes to people, and it drives them crazy because they're like,
He
I'm
is cute.
6'5".
He is cute.
Yeah, like that. That just gets me. That's the same reason why I love comedy is why I would get in trouble at school and why I get into those situations.
Yeah.
'Cause it's just
You're
fun.
like, no,
the
this
give
is
and take.
hilarious, guys.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm like to try to like win people back and then piss them off. Like that's like my entire
That
existence.
is, yeah, that's what is comedy.
That's what stand up is.
Yeah. So the sucker punch. You're like, I'm done with fighting for no reason.
Yeah. So
Let's live a clean, healthy life.
clean, healthy life. I go to God now, and
Which is this bar on the Lower East Side.
it's actually a form of tequila that I've been experimenting with. And no, but I have friends that's like to get at it, and I've told them, like, guys, just so you know, I don't do that stuff.
I'm out. Yeah. I'm retired from fighting.
Yeah. So I'm out one night, and I just had a show at Stand Up New York. And
Hard Flex.
Hard Flex doesn't exist anymore. Well, it relocated, but it was the Upper West Side. And I had like an set, and I had some other stuff going on in the personal life and the PL, you know what I mean? And I just felt so shitty, and I was like, fuck it, let's go get drunk. And then me and my friends went to Off the Wagon, which is the most embarrassing part of the story. And
such a tourist bar.
Tourist or like frat boy, NYU, like it sucks.
The one on McDougal, is that the one you're talking about?
Yeah, it sucks. And then
it's a terrible bar.
But my boys love it, and they don't love it anymore. Even though my friend who loves it is like 33 years old. I'm like, bro, you need to get your priorities straight.
Yeah. Maybe find like a nice whiskey bar or something to go to.
Yeah, exactly. We have a family. Not me and him personally, but okay, so then we go and we're pretty fucked up, and then my friend who's like the most like wants to fight all the time. Like I'm calm in this group, but because I'm just joking. He's like wants to fight.
Yeah, he's looking for it.
Yeah. So all I know is we're standing at the bar, and he gets hit with a drink from the top balcony, and he's like, I'll be right back. And I'm like, no. And I'm like, all right, I guess I'll just go make sure he's okay. So I go upstairs, and I find him, and he's just talking to these people, having fun. I'm like, oh, great. It's like these like.
What was the drink? What happened?
It was just some drunk girl from like North
dropped her
Dakota,
drink or something?
dropped her drink, and they apologized, and they were having fun, whatever.
Okay.
Like, oh, yes. No disaster tonight.
I'll be right back.
Yeah.
That's so fun.
When this guy is calm, you know
something's wrong.
Yeah. I'll be right back.
It's the quiet ones you got to watch out for.
Yeah, when he's like Johnny Carson going to commercial, things are about to get loose.
And we'll be right back.
We'll be right back with more comedy.
Handcuffs.
So then I'm like, all right, cool. And we're having fun. We're talking to these North Dakota, like, random people.
Hoes.
And then hoes and some fellers.
Shout out to the fellers.
Shout out to the fellers. Pride Month was a couple months ago. I don't know if you knew that, but it was. And then we're having fun. We're drunk, whatever. I'm looking for a charger. They have those portable chargers. And I lose my friends. They're all gone. And I'm like, hey, do you have a charger? Hey, do you mind? Just having fun. I'm just existing by myself. And I'm like, I wonder where Carlos and Nick are. And I'm like, they probably just, talking to hoes.
Talking to hoes.
No, they're probably just having fun. And then I go outside, and
Carlos is having fun.
Carlos is his
version of fun. Yeah.
I see Carlos outside screaming at the bouncer, and I'm like, this is never good. I've been there. You're supposed to make jokes to the bouncer. You don't scream at them.
Call him cute.
Call him cute. Don't call him
a little kiss.
Yeah, exactly. You're doing it wrong, man. And I get out there, and he's screaming at him. I'm like, what happened? And my boy Nick is like, oh, some girl threw a drink at him. And I was like, all right, this seems to be the theme of the evening. And then
Get a little motif going on.
Yeah. And then he got in her boyfriend's face, and then the bouncer threw him out, and now he just won't calm down. And he's like yelling at the bouncer, and then he's like, let me back in. He's like, no, you're done. You're done. And then he slaps the ground, and he goes, I'm from the Bronx, as if that was going to change things. Like the bouncer was going to be like, oh.
Me too. PX, represent. Come on in.
So sorry, sir. Had no idea you came from such royalty. Right this way. And then the bouncer's like, nah, get out of here. Yo, take your boy, get out of here. And then just when we get to, like, calm him down is whenever the bouncer would then say some slick shit to bring him back.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, you're making this worse.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone, this is right next to the cellar, right next to Grizzly Pear, and everyone's watching. I'm like, oh, this is not good.
We've been in those situations when we've seen comics on stage where, like, they'll have a heckler and they'll go at him and you're like, all right, it's done. But then they'll keep going at him and you're like, just go back to your set. Like, stop it. Now you're making it worse.
Yeah, it's clearly not about them. It's about something else.
Yeah, like, you don't have to keep engaging with them.
Yeah. So then a final time, like, when Carlos takes his Kobe jersey off is when he means business.
Yeah.
So then the bouncer full on squares up.
The brown mama comes out.
Brown mamba. That's what I look up in Pornhub. And the bouncer squares up, and I'm like, ah. So then these random, like, young, like 20-something, early 20s guys just jump in, and I'm like, what the fuck? So I just jump in to try to pull someone off of him.
Yeah.
And then 3 more guys just come in. I just get hit from the side. I get hit from this side, and then I'm like, what the fuck? And then I get up, and it's all over. Like it was a matter of 5 seconds.
Wow.
Just these like kids that were just hanging out next to the bouncer, just like for no reason. They weren't even at
Just
the bar.
wanted to, yeah.
They just jumped in, sucker punched me and a couple other of my boys, and then just
Vanished.
off. And then it was like, what the hell was that? And then Los and this bouncer barely even get to fight because it's just a bunch of like, and then it's just me getting hit. And then I just hear a comic from the Grizzly Pair go, Liam? And I'm like,
This is embarrassing.
And then I go over and I'm like, I'll have 5 minutes on this by Monday. And then
Did you?
Yeah. I don't know if I ever did anything with it, but yeah, I saved it for this podcast.
There you go.
And then right away, Los is back yelling at the bouncer. I'm like, bro, it's done. It's
We're
over.
Yeah, it's
it
over.
happened. I have a black eye now. I had a black eye and a concussion for a couple weeks, and it was terrible. It was like, that's when I retired from even getting involved, like helping.
Don't even,
I was like, I'm selfish now. I'm not, if
Yeah.
that happens again, I'm going to walk away.
Yeah.
Like, just so you guys know, like, I had to cancel a couple gigs for this. That's not happening ever again.
Yeah.
I'm going to walk the other way.
You have to. You got to look
Also
out for number
because
one.
That was lucky. Like, someone could have a knife, someone could have a gun.
Well, and not only that, but like even if, and I know a lot of people talk about this, but even if you like push someone off of you and they tripped on a curb and cracked their head, now you're going away for 15 years for accidental manslaughter.
Yeah, or I get killed.
Yeah, or you get killed.
Yeah, so it's not worth it.
What happened in Ireland?
Well,
When
forget
did
everything I said about retiring from fighting. Okay, so the next year.
Remember the story I just told you?
So the next year, I'm in Ireland with my family.
Do you go back a lot?
I've been probably like 4 or 5 times.
Oh, that's awesome.
I have a lot of family there.
Yeah. Well, yeah,
but-
we could assume.
No, I'm Dominican. But
Liam.
Liam, que lo que. I wasn't there for a while because of COVID, obviously. So this was the first year I went back, and it was me and a couple.
So
of my
this is all like relatively recent.
Yeah, this is recent. No, I'm changed, man.
I swear it. Your Honor, I'm a changed man.
This is an intervention. So we're in Ireland. We're having fun. While I was there, I was shooting this thing where I was doing like man on the street because I'm original, and I was doing this segment where I was looking for an Irish wife, and I was asking people for advice on how to get an Irish wife.
Yeah.
Didn't come out yet. It'll come out soon. Stay tuned. $25
That sounds
behind the
hilarious.
Patreon. It was a lot of fun. So we would just be out drinking. My sister would ask someone like, "Do you want to be in this video?" I would talk to like old people, young people.
Did you have like a whole setup, or were you just using your iPhone?
Just the iPhone, and then
Yeah.
I would have like a mic that plugged into it.
That's cool, yeah.
And then sometimes not even the mic, just whatever.
Just doing it.
But yeah, it was a lot of fun. And then one night we were out in Galway. My cousin was recording me, not my sister. And I didn't know she didn't ask these people if they wanted to be on the video. So I'm talking to this girl and her friends, and then she goes, "Wait, are you recording?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, I thought you knew. I'm sorry." And she was like, "Yeah, I don't want to be on camera." I'm like, "Okay, that's fine." Yeah, we stopped recording, and I'm still talking to her, just like not about that, just whatever, talking. And her friend, who's a guy, picture like the Irish Josh Gad. I don't know if you're familiar with Josh Gad. He had like glasses.
Love Josh Gad.
Little husky, and she was being cool, but he kept throwing in like little like, "Why are you still here?" Like throwing shit at me.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of ignoring him because I'm like, all right, no one cares what you have to say, Josh Gad, Josh O Gad. And
There it is. I was looking for it. You found it.
And I'm still talking to her. It's all good, whatever. And he keeps like pretty much telling me to get out of here. And at one point he goes, "All right, now get out of here, okay?" And I was like, my head is spinning of like, okay, I don't fight people. Let me remain calm. I don't do this anymore. I'm a different person. Carlos isn't here. And
Where's my Kobe jersey?
and I was just like, all right, let me just get out of here. This isn't worth it, whatever. So I go, all
Were
right.
you like pursuing the young woman? Like, were you like flirting with her, or were you just talking, or like?
Pretty much just talking. Like I wasn't trying to do any of that.
But the reason I ask is because like why? Because you stopped recording, so like, not to be on Ogad's side, but like, why were you still? You were just talking. You were just
having
hanging
a
out.
genuine conversation.
Okay.
me and this girl.
That makes sense.
She was still into it. She was like, we were having a real conversation.
That's what I wanted to know. Yeah. So
Yeah.
so you guys are both engaging with each other, and then this guy's obviously getting jealous or something, and was
Yeah.
like, "Hey, cute American, get out of here."
Oh, thanks. Yeah, he had the vibe of like,
You are cute. You are cute.
Yes. Callback number 7. That's record. I don't know. he had the vibe of like he's in the friend zone for years and he secretly has a crush on her.
Yeah.
And I wasn't even really flirting with her. We were just like talking.
Just talking,
she
yeah.
was into it. And
yeah, she was.
Okay. You should get a soundboard and have the Jada laugh. And eventually he goes, all right, why don't you just get out of here? And he hits me right there. And I'm like, don't, it's not worth it. Just listen to him, walk away. And I go, all right, yeah, I am going to leave. And then I go, but don't ever touch me again because I'll fucking kill you. And then he goes, oh, you're going to kill me with one of your guns?
Oh, because you're an American?
Because I'm an American. Bro, I'm not a gun. I've never held a gun in my life.
Oh, really?
I got
It's very
patriotic
empowering.
for the first time ever. And I'm like, oh, you mean my Second Amendment right? And then I just walk away. I'm like, so he told
These
me.
guns right here?
Yeah, these guns? I got permits for these, bro. And I'm like, okay, I passed that. I didn't try to fight him after he was being a dick to me the whole time and then touched me and told me to leave. I just listened. I left. I'm walking away. I'm texting my sister and my 2 cousins. I'm like, hey, where are you guys at? I'm walking closer to where our Airbnb was. And then haven't heard back from them. I hear the guy like 20 feet away go, hey, you were recording my friend? And then now I'm like, this guy's following me. Like, I want to just go over there and fucking,
Yeah.
And I'm like, but let me stop. Let me just keep walking, whatever. So I keep walking. And he goes, hey, you recording my friend? And I was like, I'm still ignoring him. Then my cousin texts me back and says, oh, we're by the Supermax, which is like a fast food place over there. And that's
The other direction.
the other direction. So I have the justification in my head where I go, all right, well, I'm going this way anyway.
I'm going this way anyway.
So I turn around. And then he comes up and he goes, you were recording my friend? And I'm still pretty calm, like, yeah, but we deleted it. She said she didn't want it. We talked about it already. She's fine. And he goes, no, you're recording my friend. And he's like juiced up and he's like about to come at me. And I'm like, I see my cousin walking this way. And I'm like, bro, trust me, it's better if you walk away. And he goes, no, it's better if you walk away. And I'm like, trust me, it's better if you walk away. He goes, no. And then he's coming at me. And I'm like, all right. So I hit him.
If I must.
Fine. So I hit him, and then he keeps coming at me, but not putting his hands up. So I'm not like this crazy fighter. It's just he's
But
coming
if you're not
going
to put your hands up, I'm going to...
If you're going to come at me, I'm going to hit you.
Yeah.
Probably most people I'll lose, but he has no hands up, so I just keep hitting him, and like his glasses break, and then he's like, whatever. And he finally gets up. I think we left before he even got up, but... We're like, wow, what the
The
hell?
girl walks over. He's like, I was defending your honor.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm like, that I did record. And then, so, yeah, he's down. His glasses are broken. That's over. And then the next day, we travel to County Mayo, which is where my family's from. And we meet, like, my great aunt, who's, like, probably in her, like, 80s. And she's so sweet. And we're having tea. It's very wholesome. And she goes, yeah, I heard there was a fellow went to the hospital in Galway last night, got into a fight by the Supermax. And I'm like, this is typical, like, Irish sense of humor. She heard about it, and she's, like, making up a story.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, so you guys told Eileen? And they were like, no, we didn't tell her. And I'm like, oh, my God.
So everyone's in on the bit?
No, she didn't know.
Oh, my God, really?
So then I'm looking it up, and I'm like, man in fight, Galway, Supermax, and then... It was at the other Supermax in Galway.
Oh,
like,
thank God.
Yes. But either way, I was fleeing the country the next day, so I was like...
Dude, that's nuts.
Yeah, it was
because
pretty
I've
wild.
been in those situations where you're like, oh, ha, ha, ha. Ha, 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 everybody. This is so funny. And they're like, what are you talking about? And you're like, yeah, ha, ha, ha.
Yeah.
There's a warrant out for my arrest. Good bit, everybody. Good bit at Christmas.
You're in jail?
And then I got pulled over by the cops for not wearing a seatbelt. They're like, you have a warrant out for your arrest?
Oh, fuck. Damn, I want to hear that story.
Good bit, everybody.
Good bit, your officer. I don't know what your officer.
You went for your honor. I got
Your
you.
honor. That's how much respect I have for the police. And I said the police, not the police.
Dude, this was so much fun.
Oh, I had fun too. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. Plug everything one more time.
Liam Dalton live, Instagram, TikTok, MySpace. Okay, Cupid.
At Rusty Gary.
Rusty Gary. That's funny, Rusty Gary. No, it was Rusty Gray, but
Rusty Gray. Sorry.
But one time a promoter did put my name on the poster as Rusty Greg. And then I was like, maybe I should do comedy instead.
Thank you, everybody, so much for listening. At Brennan T Comedy on all social media. Check out the Patreon, patreon.com/BrennanTassif. Get your tales from the restaurant. Fucking hear me tell stories.
Hell yeah. I'll be in Hudson Valley tomorrow, but this probably is already up.
Yeah, this was Hudson Valley. You crushed.
Thanks,
dude.
man.
It was great.
Thanks.
We'll talk to y'all next week.
Thanks, bro. That was fun.
Dude, that was so much fun.
That was